Guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Ask Erik Hammond Show. I'm your host, Erik Hammond, and on today's show, we are covering 4 great questions. We're talking about recruiting, we're talking about going after FSBOs, and we're going to be talking about how to handle low inventory. So if you're stuck with any of these, I'll say concerns in your life right now, this is the show you need to tune into today. We do this show live on Facebook every Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you're enjoying our podcast, give us a thumbs up, share this with somebody who you think could benefit from the information that we share. But as always, thanks for being here, and let's go get into the show. Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ask Erik Hammond Show. I'm your host, Erik Hammond. Thanks for being here every week as we uncover your questions. These are the top 4 questions that you guys ask us every single week. So I am super glad you're here today. It is a bright, sunny Monday morning. We're going into the middle of April. Today is tax day if you're watching this live. So happy paying your taxes day if you're a U.S. citizen. Always a fun day, April 15th. So question number 1 comes from Kevin. He says, I'm stuck in recruiting mode. Okay, I guess the first question is where are you on this process? I'm gonna have to back this up so that everybody can apply to this answer, is where are you? If you're by yourself and it's just you and you're looking for that first person, we talked about this, I think it was last week in the show, who's that first person you should hire? It definitely needs to be some type of an assistant, right? Someone to handle your appointments, someone to handle the paperwork, someone to help you with all the uploading information to the MLS, making sure that your listings are accurate, taking showings, like dealing with your clients. Sometimes you have to have that happen, but an assistant needs to be probably person number 1. If Kevin here is talking about agents, I think the first agent that you need to hire is a buyer's agent, because you should try to stay on those listing appointments as much as possible, because that's going to keep bringing you more and more business. Our goal as a real estate team was for every listing that we took to get one more transaction out of that. So whether we represented the buyer and seller on one transaction or we actually took another listing from a listing, our goal for basically me and our team was to have 2 transactions come out of every listing that we took. So as you're going on all those listing appointments, think about how you can generate more business. Being on the buyer side, you know, you may get referrals, you may hold open houses and get more people to come to your open houses and be able to get more leads that way, and hopefully you can take more business that way. But I definitely recommend hiring a buyer's agent as your next recruit. So what are you stuck with, Kevin? My guess is that you're trying to find somebody who matches up with your personality, matches up with your work hustle, your drive, your ambition, everything that you do, and you're seeing yourself. There's that. The other side of this is, where are you finding these recruits from? Number 1 is your office, right? There's probably other agents in your office you could team up with. Most brokerages that I go into have anywhere from 20 to 400 agents that are a part of that brokerage. Most of the ones I've been to have, 100 plus. So there's a lot of different personality types. There's a lot of different things going on there. If you're in an office that provides training, what I would do is go talk to the broker and see who's in these classes, who's being trained, who's learning how to be better at their business, who's doing it full time, and say, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody to add to my team. I would love to work with an individual who has this, this, and this. You know anybody who's in these classes, that has these types of personality traits? And go find somebody in your own brokerage that has the same kind of beliefs, that's looking for the same type of maybe mentorship program, and you can take them under your wing and show them the way that you sell real estate. So Kevin, that's number 1, is try to find where these people are in your brokerage already. If there isn't anybody in your brokerage, or your broker doesn't want to have somebody, form a team in your brokership because he's worried about losing that split, you might have to go outside your brokerage. So we have something in San Diego called a caravan, and I've been to other areas that don't have this, but what they do is they gather 10 to 100 agents in a room, and they talk about all the new transactions that are coming up that week, basically coming soon houses. They usually meet like every Monday or every Wednesday at a big common area. That's a great place to just network and meet other agents. It's a good place to find out what's coming out of the market. It's a great place to advertise homes that aren't on the MLS yet. There's a whole story that you can go down with that. But what I would do is go find the agents that are getting business, that are doing things, that are looking to hold open houses, that are actually taking part in active real estate on a full-time basis, and just say, hey, look, I'm recruiting, I'm looking for somebody to join our team. You've got business going on. How would you like to come join our team? And approach them that way. And obviously you still have to interview them. You still have to make sure that they fit the profile that you're looking for. But that's another way of finding them. The last one I would recommend is, this is going to be an interesting one, is through open houses. Okay, so an agent that's willing to work on the weekends, that puts their family aside for a moment and says, look, I'm willing to go hold an open house. I'm willing to hustle. I'm going to go set up my signs, put out balloons, stay here for 4 hours, try to meet with clients. that might be a great recruiting method as well. Now, Kevin, the thing I didn't get into is the listing agent. And the listing agent is going to be a little bit more challenging because if they're doing listings already and they're taking their own business, it's going to be hard to say, come join my team. I want a cut of your commission. So you got to figure out what's in it for them and why would they want to come to your team. So good luck, right? So understand completely that if a buyer or a listing agent comes onto your team, at some point they will leave. Unless you promise them and have it in writing that I'm bringing you on to be my protege and someday I'm going to give you my business, they will probably leave. So figure that out, Kevin. Okay, that's question number 1. So Katrina asks, I get the appointment, but all the sellers interview multiple agents. Of course they do. How do I lock these in? The only time you're not going to have a competition for a listing appointment or trying to get a listing is if it's apparent. And if you have competition with that, like good luck, or a close relative or your own transaction. And here's the number 1 reason that I wrote down. You're probably not providing the value that they're looking for. They're looking for something for an agent to provide. So find out what it is that they're looking for. Get straight to it at the very beginning. So Katrina, I hope that helps. And if it's not, and you're going on 10 appointments and you're only getting 1, there's something that you're leaving out. You need to find out what the other agents in your area are doing that maybe you're not doing. So find out the agents that are closing the most, see what they're bringing, see what value they had. Number 3, Eric, awesome. Eric with a C has got the question. He says, winning FSBO business. And if you're brand new and you don't know what FSBO is, it's for sale by owner. It means the owners decided to try to sell their house on their own, okay? Most scripts and approaches feel, I can't even pronounce this last word, disgenuine. I'll put it that way, disgenuine. Means that I think he's saying these scripts don't feel real, and I've been there, trust me. I feel like most of the FSBO scripts on the market today are from like 10, 15 years ago. FSBOs are hard, right? And depending on where you are, there could be tons of them, or there might be like 3 of them. I don't know. So depending on where you are in the country and depending on the FSBOs that are going on in your area, that may change. 90-something% of for sale by owners end up listing with an agent, which is true. They do, because they realize after a week or 2 weeks, the only calls they ever get are from other agents trying to get that business. I think the paperwork can be confusing, but there's a lot of title companies and attorneys who can help with that, so it's not too bad. So how do you handle these for sale by owners who want to do it themselves, who probably want to save that $6,000 to $21,000 commission check that they would be paying you? Probably one of the best ideas that I've heard in a long time. I just actually heard it a couple weeks ago on a podcast that I was listening to. There's an agent in Florida who's been doing this now for a few years. What he's done is he's actually written a 60-page ebook. It's basically a PDF, but an ebook on how to sell your own house. He shows them everything. He's like, by the 17th page, they're just blown away with how much work it's actually going to be involved to sell their own house, that they've just thrown the towel and they say, you know what, you obviously know what you're doing. We want to hire you to sell our house. So if you overwhelm them with everything that they're going to have to do and show them step by step exactly what it's going to take to sell a house in this market and where they are and all the competition that's going on and all the frustration that's going to come in something that they can download and digest, you're gonna win. So Eric, hopefully that helps you with winning FSBOs. Like the last question, number 4, is from Nash. And he asked the question, how to handle low inventory as a buyer's agent. The market is shifting, right? There's less listings going on right now. In our area, there's a lot of new homes coming onto the market. So the buyer or the new construction is kind of flooding the market and overwhelming the traditional sellers. But how do you handle low inventory as a buyer? As a buyer's agent. Number 1 is you can go to a caravan. We talked about that before. Maybe there's an area where the agents meet together as a group once a week and they talk about the new listings that are coming on. That's one tactic. Another one, which just takes a little bit more effort, but it's going to bring you a lot different results. Bring your clients in, have a great mic, have someone hold the camera for you, interview your clients, and show this video to them. And then in the text above the video, basically say, I have a client who's approved for, and then put the price range that they're approved for, up to $500,000 or whatever that number is. They are ready to go. So tune in live every single Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, and get your questions answered. And also check out our Facebook Friday show, which is on our other page, The Orange Stack, which happens 10 a.m. Pacific time every Friday. And anyway, enjoy the content, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for following along, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you.